The Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, one of the mean. كل سنة وانتم today, the third Sunday of the blessed month of Atur, and the first Sunday for the fast of the Siyam, in Advent. And today's gospel actually talk about discipleship. And if you noticed, the last verse in today's gospel say, "He who has ear, let him hear." This is actually following the message that we heard the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks we've been hearing the message about the sower, the parable of the sower, how Jesus, our Lord and Savior Christ, sent his message to everyone. And it's about how you respond to the message. And last week, I remember I spoke to you about the good ground. And we agreed that the good ground, number one, listen to God's message. 2, understand it. 3, keep it in a good heart. 4, bring forth fruit. But what happens when you have fruits? We're all required to have fruits. When you have fruits and you follow Christ, you become a disciple of Christ. And today's gospel, very strong gospel, talks about the power of discipleship. The power of discipleship. All of us are not just called to be Christian, but we are called to be higher than Christian. Just to become a Christian, to become a believer at the first step. Then you follow Christ. Then after that you become a disciple of Christ. And the word disciple actually mentioned many times in today's gospel. And our Lord and Savior Christ, when he gave the commission to the disciple, after he rose from the dead, he was going to ascend to the heaven. In Matthew chapter 28, verse 16, he said, verse 19, he said, "Go therefore to all nations. Go therefore to all nations and make them disciple." But the goal of the apostle actually and the disciple was one thing. They want to go out and basically not just only change the people, but they change the people to the point that they become disciples of Christ. So today the gospel is talking to us about one thing. We are called to follow Christ. We are called to be a disciple of Christ. Matter of fact, the word disciple mentioned between the 4 gospels in the book of Acts 269 times. 269 to emphasize the importance of discipleship. To become a Christian, it's the first stage. To become a believer is the first stage. To follow Christ, second stage. But the most important stage that in your life, you and I are called to become disciples of Christ. A disciple, somebody actually loves Christ and basically imitate him. When somebody follows somebody and you love somebody so much, you imitate him. For therefore, we are called actually to become Christ-like. Being a disciple means to become a little Christ. Being a disciple that everyone see us anywhere, at home, at work, in school, that they see Christ in us. And this is a very higher call. Very higher call. We're not just only called to follow Christ, but we're called to become a disciple of Christ. And ask yourself, are you a true disciple? A disciple loves Christ. And today's gospel actually speak about really 4 important aspects of discipleship. He said, "Now great multitude went with him, and he turned and said to them," our Lord and Savior said, "You follow me?" He told them to start talking to them. "Do you want to follow me? Here are 4 important conditions that you need to know." Number 1, he said, "If anyone comes to me and does not hate," this is a very strange word actually. And we as a Christian, we're not used to the word hate. Jesus said to us, "Unless hate," but actually the word hate actually means loveless. The word hate here actually loveless. And if you follow Christ and you loveless, Christ becomes number 1. You cannot follow him unless you hate your father, mother, wife, children, brothers, sisters. Yes, even his own life, he cannot be my disciple. But the number 1 actually is talking about to follow Christ, to become a disciple. Christ has to become number 1 in your life. Has to become number 1. If you want to say I'm a disciple of Christ, أنا واحد تلاميذ المسيح, number 1 in one A, you have number 1. He has to. Your love to Christ surpasses any love. Your love to Christ beyond any love. Your love to Christ will be basically exceeding in love. For Christ to become number 1 in your life, your own family comes second. Even to the point one time actually, somebody came to Jesus and said, "You know what? I want to follow you. I want to be one of your disciples. But my father just died. Let me go out and bury my father." Jesus said no to him. He said, "You know what? Let the dead bury themselves, but follow me." Which means actually when you follow Christ, you have to focus on Christ. And I think this is a challenge that you and I will have in our life right now. How can Christ become number one in our life? How can Christ become the center of our life? Yes, we have a beautiful retreat for the college and the graduate. Abuna Mina and Abuna Kul is actually with them over the weekend. And they have His Grace Bishop Amba Bullis from Africa. And they've been having a great trip. But actually one of the talk actually was talking about discipleship and follow Christ. We're all called to become a disciple. We're all called to follow Christ. But the number one, if you want to be a true disciple, you have to love God from all your heart. Loving God is the foundation of the Christian life. As a matter of fact, the first commandment, God gave it to Moses. He told Moses, you know what? Here is my first commandment that you give to the people of Israel. Love the Lord your God. Love the Lord your God from all your heart, all your mind, all your soul. في a beautiful quote by Sheikh Rouhani, St. John. He said, your love to God is the only love that will take away from your heart any love in the world. So your love to Christ is the only love can actually take away any other love in your life here. For number one, He's calling us to love Christ. Love Christ beyond anyone. And He also said, loving God is the greatest commandment, which no one can enter into heaven without it. So in order for us to get into heaven, one thing, you have to love Christ. Number two actually said, and whoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. Second condition said, you know what? In order for you to become a disciple, you have to carry the cross. Sometimes all of us will link the cross to basically suffering, struggling. But also the cross is the source of glory and happiness. And the beautiful thing, how you can glorify the cross, how you can enjoy the cross. Sometimes when we talk about carrying the cross means, you know what, I have to struggle. But the cross actually, the meaning of the cross actually, there's a beautiful verse in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 18, said, the message of the cross is foolishness to those who have been perished. But for us as a Christian, it's the power of God. So the cross means give you power. So the cross is not just only a hardship that you have to carry, but the meaning of the cross, to carry the cross, that will help you to give you power. Remember I told you a good story, حصلت في البصرة في Syria about, I think 3-4 years ago. Was somebody actually was a driver, كان هو عنده Uber, some people were calling actually to take a ride. They rode the car with him, and he gave them a ride. And after they left, he looked in behind and he saw actually they left their الشنطة بتاعتهم كانت موجودة. ففتحها لقى فيها الصليب. لقى فيها cross. And then he started actually looking for the people who could not find them. But he started driving and going back. هو كان Sunni actually. Some of the Shia stopped him. At that time, if you remember, 4 years ago, you can feel a fight between the Shia and the Sunni. But they told him, you know what? You are a Sunni. He said, no, I'm not. I know, but you are not a Shia. I know, I'm a Christian. He said to him, I'm a Christian. But you're not a Christian. They started actually having an argument with him. He said, no, I'm a Christian. He opened the bag بتاع الناس اللي كانوا معاه دول وقال لهم شوفوا I carry a cross. But they actually saved his life, because if he was actually a Sunni, they would kill him, and then they saved his life. So actually, after that, he became a Christian. He said, the cross is the one who saved my life. But the cross for us is not just only carry the cross means, you know what, you have to struggle and have to cry. No, it's actually the cross is a source of power. Number 3 actually said, you know what, for which of you is intent building a tower? He started giving actually a parable. He said, you know what, can you imagine if you want to build a tower or rebuild the house? Number 1, you have to sit and see if you have enough money to build it or not. And he also said that if a king going to fight, if a king actually going to make a war against another king, this king has to think with himself and figure out, does he have enough army to beat this king or not? Which means number 3 actually is telling us, you know what, evaluate and calculate your call. Sit with yourself. Ask yourself, am I really a true disciple? بالبلد كده يقول لك احسبها كويس. لازم تحسبها كويس. انت اول شيء انت تبعت السيد المسيح حبيته من قلبك. تاني شيء شايل الصليب. ثالث شيء لو انت مالك كده داخل هتحارب ملك تاني ولا هتبني حاجه، فقال لك نمبر 1 احسبها كويس. احسبها كويس لان فعلا اللي يتبع المسيح مش ممكن يخسر ابدا. فقال لهم على فكره لازم تحسبوها كويس. فنمبر 3 actually evaluate and calculate exactly your calling. Number 4 actually to the last point, he said, you know what? So likewise, whoever of you does not forsake all, he cannot be my disciple. He said, you know what? The conclusion عشان to become a disciple of Christ, number 1 you have to learn to forsake. Forsake means تترك. And the concept of forsake is a very important concept for us as a Christian. All young kids, all of us in our life, we're going to struggle to see something separate us from the love of God. Guess what? You have to forsake. Even when the Lord God appeared to Abraham and told him, you know what? Number 1, I want you to forsake your father's house, your land, your country, your home, and follow me. And St. Paul said, who shall separate me from the love of Christ? Nothing would separate from the love of God. But he actually is putting us 4 conditions today. Number 1, loving God from all your heart. Number 2, carrying the cross. Number 3, sit with yourself and evaluate. Have كده a quiet time with yourself, evaluate. Do you really, are you really a true disciple or not? Number 4, he said, you know what? You have to learn to forsake. And in the end, he gave it the conclusion. Why? Why? He said the reason is because you are the salt of the earth. All of us as a Christian, we are the salt of the earth. So therefore, if the salt loses its flavor, how shall we be seasoned? We and I are called to be the salt of the earth. Today, it's a very simple message. We are called not just only to become a Christian, a believer. We are called not just only to listen to the word of God and become a follower of Christ, but we are called to become a disciple of Christ. And there are 4 things here. Number 1, if you want to be a true disciple, learn to love Christ from all your heart. 2, carry the cross. The cross is a joy, source of joy. Number 3, sit and evaluate. Number 4, to learn to forsake. The reason is for one reason only, because you are the salt of the earth. ربنا كده يدينا فعلا a heart to become a heart of disciple. أحبائي النهارده الإنجيل بيتكلم بعد ما سمعنا الأسبوعين اللي فاتوا عن كلمة ربنا وقوة كلمة ربنا وعمل كلمة ربنا، خاصة لما كلمة ربنا تدخل في أرض جيدة. فبيقول على فكرة النهارده لو سمعت كلمة ربنا وتتبع كلمة ربنا، أنا عايز بدعو كل واحد مننا دعوة لكل واحد مننا يقول لك عايزك تكون تلميذا ليا النهارده. كلنا مدعوين إن إحنا نكون تلاميذ المسيح. والسيد المسيح قال للتلاميذ كده لما قال لهم اذهبوا تلمذوا جميع الامم. فكل واحد مننا مدعو ان هو يكون تلميذ. حبايب دعوه ان كل واحد يكون تلميذ دعوه كده عاليه قوي. دعوه عاليه قوي. المنبر كانت واحده كانت بقت بيكام كريستيان بتقول لي ان هو المسيحيه اتس هاير كول، مش اي كول، مش اي دعوه، ولا هي دعوه عاليه جدا جدا. فالنهارده دعوه كل انسان من ربنا بيقول انا عايزك تكون ليا تلميذ. فاول شيء عشان تكون تلميذ قال لك لازم اول حاجه انك تحب ربنا من كل قلبك. نمبر 2 اتعلم تشيل الصليب. بس اتكلمنا عن الصليب مش بس الصليب الم وان انا كده، لا، ده الصليب هو جوي، هو سعاده. نمبر 3 احسبها كويس جدا جدا انك انت في حياتك هل بتتبع المسيح ولا امور الدنيا واخداك. نمبر 4 ان تترك الكل. والسبب الرئيسي بيقول لك كده تعرف ليه السبب؟ عايزك تكون ليا تلميذ وعايزك تفضل ال4 حاجات دول وتبقى هم الكواليتي انك تكون تلميذ. قال لك حاجه واحده بسيطه جدا، لانك انتم ملح انا وانت ملح الارض. هل انت ملح في بيتك؟ هل انت ملح في شغلك؟ هل انت ملح في عملك؟ انت الملح في كل مكان. احبائي النهارده دعوه غاليه جدا، دعوه عاليه جدا جدا لكل واحد مننا، وكلنا مدعوين ان احنا نكون تلاميذ. تخيلوا كده واحد مننا بيفكر في هذا الفكر يقول ده السيد المسيح دعا 12 تلميذ بس. اقول لك لا، ده في اخر حاجه عملها بعد ما صعد قال لهم اذهبوا وتلمذوا جميعهم. فدعوه التلاميذ دي مش بس مطلوبه لل12. تخيلوا لو كل واحد مننا كان تلميذ، ال12 غيروا العالم كله. احنا ممكن نغير امريكا كلها لو انا وانت بقينا تلاميذ للمسيح. ربنا يسعد القلب.